In this video, we will use scripting to control the dates used in a data action. In this video, you will learn how to create a script object, utilize and initialize events to set fields and parameters when a page launches, set a date-time variable, use scripting to generate date parameters, use dynamic data from those dates to autofill input filters. Here we have a story that runs a data action. In the data action, an aggregation of the selected previous years is copied from actual to January 2024 of planning. This is then averaged per month and then duplicated for every month in 2024. If you wish to know how this was done, watch the video using scripting to control data actions. The end user wishes to be able to change the planning year so that the data action can be used for subsequent years in the future. First, let's add parameters to the data action so that these dates can be modified. Open the data action. In the first step, we can see that the aggregate to field is using the fixed value January 2024. Note that only one date at the leaf level can be selected. Also note that the hierarchy format is year, quarter, month. Look at the step to get an average for a month. This is using January 2024 as a member set. Next, look at the step that copies the data for the months of a year. January 2024 is used as the start date to start duplicating the data, and December 2024 is set as a date to stop duplicating the data. It looks like we need two new parameters. One to replace January 2024 and another to replace December 2024. Select the Show Parameter List button. Click Create Parameter. Set the ID as Start Month. Set the measure dimension to Date. Set the cardinality to Single, as only one date can be selected. Set the hierarchy to match that used as default in the model. In this instance, year, quarter, month. Then set the level to leaf, as only months can be selected. Set the default member to January 2024. Click Done. Create a duplicate parameter for end month with the same settings, then set the default member as December 2024. Select the first step. Under Aggregate 2, select Date. Change the filter to Parameters. Select Start Month, then click OK. Select the Monthly Average step. Select the Visual tab. Expand Context. Select the Date filter. Select Parameters, then click Start Month, then OK. Select the Script tab. Note that the parameters are written with 2 percentage signs. Select the Expense per Month step. Make certain that the Script tab is selected. Note that a month is written as year in 4 characters, then month in 2 characters. Remove the value for January 2024. Type the percentage sign. Select the start month. Replace December 2024 with the parameter end month. Now save the data action. Open the story. Go to the page with the data action. Move the label and the input control for the years to copy so that two elements can be selected. Insert a text field with the text Set a planning year, : Select the plus button underneath Insert. Select Filters Controls option. Insert a radio button group. Expand the right-hand panel. Select the Builder tab. Click the plus button to add a third radio button. Select the Style tab. Change the ID to RB_planning year. Under Display Options, set it to Horizontal Layout. Change the size and position of the two elements to sit in the space. Show the left-hand panel. Select the Outline tab. Under Scripting, you can see a script object for data actions. Select the object and a new panel will open on the left-hand side. Set a default value for the two new parameters, start month and end month. We need to set the filter for the date of the table that changes the year that is used. We also need to set the parameters for the start and end month of the data action. We currently don't know the format of the text to be inserted in these fields, as it depends on the model and the table setup. We can use the console log to display this format. Under Pages, expand Page 2. Select the FX button for the planning table. Select On Select. Type console, then a dot, then press Ctrl space. This will add log with the parentheses group. Inside the parentheses, type this dot, then press Ctrl space. Select Get Data Source, then type dot and then Ctrl space again. Select Get Dimension Filters. In quotes, press Ctrl space. Select Date. Remember that the script has a semicolon to denote the end of a line. This will get the format for dates used in the table. On a new line, add another console log. In the log parentheses, type the ID for the data action object. In this case, DA_average expense, then a dot, then Ctrl space. Select Get Parameter Value. In the parentheses, type Ctrl space again and select Start Month. Save the story. Once saved, open the View mode. Select the Planning page and press F12 to open the Browser tool. Select the Console tab, then click on the table. Expand the first log result for the dimension filter. Copy the value text, including the quotes. Expand the second log for the parameter filter. Copy the first text date string. Go back to the Edit tab for your story. We need a function that will set the year, then the start and end month. Functions are added to script objects. On the Outline tab, select the plus button next to Scripting. Click on Script Object. A new script object will be made with a single function. A script function panel will open on the left. Change the name to Set Year. Click on the Add Argument button. Name the argument Year and leave the type as string. Click Done. In the Outline tab, hover over the Set Year function. Select the FX option to edit the function script. First, we will remove the current dimension filter for date on the table. Type the name of the planning table, then a dot, then press Ctrl Space. Select Get Data Source, then another dot, and then Ctrl Space to select Remove Dimension Filter. In the parentheses, type Ctrl Space to select Date. Now we can add the new dimension filter. Type the name of the planning table, then a dot, then press Ctrl Space. Select Get Data Source, then another dot to select Set Dimension Filter. In the parentheses, click Ctrl Space and select Date. Then type a comma for the second parameter, which is the new date to filter by. This needs to be in the same format we copied for the dimension filters. With quotes, paste the result from the console log. The year in the format needs to be replaced with the year argument we set for the function. Remove the year. Type quote plus year quote. Next, we need to set the start and end months for the data action object. On a new line, type DA underscore average expense dot, then press Ctrl Space. Select Set Parameter Value. In the parentheses, press Ctrl Space and select Start Month. Then type a comma for the second parameter, which is the date to filter by. This needs to be in the same format we copied for the data action filters. With the quotes, pass the result from the console log. The year month in the format needs to be replaced with the year argument plus the month as two characters we set for the function. Remove the year month text. Type quote plus year plus double quotes. In the double quotes, type 01 as this is the two-character code for January. After the end quote, type plus and then another quote. Duplicate this line with end month as the parameter and 12 as the month for December. Save the story. When the planning page is first loaded, we want to automatically set the planning year to the next year for the current date. When a page first loads, there is an event called initialization. On the Outline panel, select the FX option for page 2. Select initialization. First, let's declare the current date as a variable. Type var current date equals new date with parentheses group. This will return the current date on the user's computer. Now we can use this variable to get the current year. On a new line, type var current year equals current date dot, then press Ctrl space. Select Get Full Year. This will get the year from a date, so January 15th, 2023 will return 2023 as an integer. Now we can calculate next year. As the value we are using on the parameter is a string, we will also need to turn the integer into a string. Type var next year equals, then a parentheses group. In the parentheses, type current year plus 1. After the end parentheses, type dot, then Ctrl space. Select to string. On a new line, we will show a busy message while the page updates. Type application dot, then press Ctrl space. Select Show Busy Indicator. In the parentheses, type in quotes, setting planning year. Now we can use the function we created earlier, set year. On a new line, type script object _1 dot, then press Ctrl space. This will add the function set year. In the parentheses, type the variable next year. Add 2 lines, then hide the busy indicator by typing application dot, Ctrl space, and then select hide busy indicator. Click Save. Click the View mode. Select the Planning page. Once the Planning page is updated, run the data action. It should update the Planning page for next year. In this case, that is 2024. Remember to revert the data. Next, we want the page to update the radio button group to show the next 3 years as options for the user to set the planning year. Open the on initialization script for page 2. Add a line before the hide indicator line. First, we will remove all the radio options that it currently has. Type RB underscore planning year dot, then use Ctrl space to select remove all items. Next, we will use the for loop to add the next 3 years to the radio group. On a new line, type for, then a parentheses group. In the parentheses, type var I equals 1, semicolon. This sets I to 1. Then type I is less than 4, semicolon. This will stop the loop if it's greater than 3. Then type I++ to add 1 to I each loop. Add some curly brackets to the end of the statement. In between the brackets, add a new line, then type RB underscore planning year dot, then add item. Between the parentheses, add a new line. On the new line, add another group of parentheses. In this group, type current year plus I. On the outside of this group, type dot, then add the toString function. Note that a line of code can be spread over multiple lines so it can be easier to read. This will add the next 3 years as options to the radio button group. After the for statement, we can set the radio button group to next year. Type rb_planning year dot set selected key. In the parentheses, type next year. The last thing required is to let the new radio button update the year and month settings. Select the planning page. Right-click on the radio button bar. Select Edit Script. This will open the onSelect event for the radio group. We can use the function setYear to update the year and month settings. Type scriptObject.setYear. In the parentheses, type this dot, then add the getSelectedKey function. This will add the current selected key for the radio button group. Save the story. Open the view mode of the story. Go to the planning page. The radio button group should update with the new years. Note, because we use the onInitialization event, this page will only update the first time it is open. Select a different year. Note, the table updates with the new year. Run the data action trigger. Try this for different years. Remember to revert the data. In this video, you learned how to create a script object with a function to run a reusable process. Utilize an initialization event to set fields and parameters when a page launches. Set a date-time variable. Use scripting to generate date parameters, and use dynamic data to autofill input filters. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, click the like button below. You can also view our growing catalogue of self-paced courses, tutorials, webinars, and join the community forum by creating your free account at analysisprime.com.